The Invisible Tower, how the Bank for International Settlements quietly runs the world's money. 1. The Hook. Most people think the financial puppet masters wear Wall Street suits or sit in government buildings. Cute idea, but wrong. Behind the scenes of the global monetary machine, one quiet institution pulls the strings while everyone argues about politics. So what does that actually mean? It means the real power doesn't sit in Washington, London, or Brussels. It sits in a circular tower in Basel, Switzerland. And no, that's not a Bond villain's hideout, it's the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS. Footnote. This section introduces the central claim that the BIS, not major banks or governments, directs global monetary coordination. 2. The power above power. The BIS isn't just another central bank, it's the central bank of central banks. The Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, they all sit below it. The BIS writes the rules they follow, meets in secret 6 times a year, and no one gets invited except the world's most powerful money men. No press, no votes, no live streams. Just dinner, wine, and decisions that shape global economies. Its meetings are private, but their ripple effects reach everyone, from mortgage rates to food prices. During the 2008 crisis, it wasn't politicians who saved the system. It was central bankers, quietly crafting rescue plans under the BIS roof. Footnote. This section describes the BIS as a global command center coordinating monetary policy above all national central banks. 3. The origins. The BIS began in 1930, supposedly to handle Germany's World War I reparation payments. 2 years later, that job ended, but the BIS didn't. Instead of closing, it morphed into a global bankers club that survived world wars, regime changes, and economic collapses. During World War II, even bankers from warring nations met peacefully under its roof. Basel became the Switzerland of monetary diplomacy, literally. What started as a financial clearinghouse became a quiet world government for money. So what does that actually mean? It means the BIS was designed from the start to outlive governments and steer global finance through whatever chaos came next. Footnote. This section outlines how the BIS evolved from a post-war payment agency into a permanent institution of global financial governance. 4. Immunity and invisibility. Here's where things get interesting. The BIS is legally untouchable. Its property, records, and staff are immune from all national laws, even Swiss ones. No taxes. No audits. No subpoenas. Not even the Swiss police can walk in. Imagine a global organization that pays zero taxes, answers to no government, and yet controls those governments' money. Sounds made up, right? It's not. That's why it's been called the Financial Vatican. Like the Holy See of central banking, it's sovereign ground, fenced off from oversight. Footnote. This section highlights the BIS's legal immunity and lack of accountability, comparing it to a sovereign financial state. 5. The Rule Maker. Remember the Basel Accords, the rules that tell banks how much capital to hold and how much risk to take? Those come straight from the BIS. When the BIS changes those rules, every major bank from JP Morgan to Deutsche Bank must adjust instantly. They don't ask if, they ask how high. So what does that actually mean? It means the BIS doesn't need to pass laws. It writes the laws that laws obey. It's the hidden architect of the financial system, setting standards that governments merely enforce. Footnote. This section explains how BIS frameworks like the Basel Accords define international banking regulation and risk management. 6. The Digital Blueprint. Today, the BIS is coding the future of money, literally. Through its Innovation Hub, it's building the infrastructure for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. These are programmable, traceable, digital versions of national currencies. The public is told it's about efficiency. The BIS says it's modernization. But make no mistake, it's also about control. In a fully digital system, every transaction can be tracked, limited, or even reversed. Programmable money means programmable behavior. And the same organization that wrote the rulebook for the old system is writing the software for the new one. Footnote. This section details the BIS's leadership in developing global CBDC frameworks and digital monetary infrastructure. 7. The circle that never changes. Politicians come and go. The BIS stays. Governments borrow and spend, but central banks, and their central bank, control the flow of money. Elections may change the faces, but not the framework. Deficits, inflation, and wealth gaps all persist because the same quiet circle in Basel still pulls the strings. So what does that actually mean? It means democracy stops where monetary policy begins. What most people call the economy is really a hierarchy, and the BIS sits comfortably at the top. Footnote. This section argues that the BIS's structural control over monetary policy limits the impact of political change on financial outcomes. 8. The next chapter. Every crisis, bailout, and liquidity rescue traces back to Basel. After 2008, the BIS created the Financial Stability Board, supposedly to prevent another meltdown, but really to manage the next one. The playbook's already written, they're just waiting for the next trigger. And when it comes, the world will look up again, blaming politicians, markets, or bad luck, while the same group quietly writes the next script from their tower in Switzerland. Footnote. This section concludes that the BIS continues to script coordinated responses to global crises through entities like the Financial Stability Board.